In recent decades, the development aid community has embraced microcredit as a promising solution to the extreme poverty that plagues billions of people globally. Microcredit aims to provide poor people with small loans so they can start and operate a business. The assumption is that what is holding them back is mainly access to credit, and that by removing this obstacle, they would be able to escape the vicious cycle of poverty. After decades of research, however, the academic community has remained divided on whether microcredits are in fact delivering on their promise. Empirical studies have provided conflicting results on whether microcredit can improve entrepreneurial activity and individuals' finances. It also remains unclear whether or not microcredit has a positive effect on broader human development, such as health, education, or the empowerment of women. Our purpose was to synthesize the average effects of all available relevant prior findings, drawn from 90 individual studies. We used meta-analysis, which is a method that enabled us to quantitatively weigh and synthesize findings on similar relationships across all studies. We found an overall positive, yet small, effect of microcredit on all the outcomes we studied. Microcredit has an effect on financial outcomes such as venture growth, venture profitability, and the financial well-being of the entrepreneur. It also improves human development outcomes such as health, the education of entrepreneurs' children, and the empowerment of women. Interestingly, we found microcredit to have the strongest effect on the empowerment of women. We also compared the usefulness of microcredit across countries. We found that in contexts with a less developed institutional environment and greater corruption, the positive effects of microcredit were stronger. In other words, microcredit might be even more useful in those places where no alternatives exist. In conclusion, the small yet positive effects detected by this study suggest that we can be somewhat optimistic about the positive contribution of microcredit to poverty alleviation. However, the small degree of the effects suggests that it might not be as transformative as microcredit proponents usually claim. Also, our study contradicts the rhetoric behind the current trend of microcredit organizations' strategy of tapping into more lucrative customer segments. Instead, it suggests that focusing on the least developed context can have greater benefits for financial and human development.